properties of these plasticine stones? Well, nobody ever analyzed the properties of these plasticine stones. All that we have is what I've shown you here. What is happening underneath the wall is also being examined right now. Not much is clear. This is why it's interesting, and I'm asking you for your opinion as to how to move forward. I saw that you had done the chemical analysis, but you did not do an energy dispersive X-ray analysis. All we have is what I have shown you here today. So it looks as if this was done over a week's time and in a short period of time. And so, I mean, what would that give us? Well, perhaps it could tell us more about the organic remains in the stones which have them. Well, maybe the paleontologists could determine the age of these stones, but I fail to see what this would accomplish. Seemingly, the facts presented here today do not fit into our perception of reality. They always lead some people to come up with supernatural origins of these phenomena. Personally, I think that this material transformation could occur not only through the chemical means, but also according to the laws of rigid body physics. For example, let's take the formation of golden nuggets in alluvial deposits under the conditions of permafrost. Forming from very small-sized particles into a nugget. What this means essentially is that the debut temperature near the zone is very low. This allows the metal to be in a state of plasticity, even under normal conditions, with the temperatures ranging from below 0 to negative 100 degrees centigrade. On the atomic level, the bonds in the crystalline lattice will vibrate and the gold will have the ability to stick together. So, what we observe here in these photos makes me first of all think that the deformation of these blocks occurred according to the laws of rigid body physics. The builders of this wall gave the initial geometric form, and then the blocks fused, which created such monolithic mass that you couldn't even fit a piece of paper through them. This was due to the fact that the blocks grew as a result of the processes which occur when particles stick together and grow to form the aggregates. Therefore, I think we should examine the chemical content which makes up these limestone blocks and look for the signs of the debut temperature and the resulting deformation. The sticking, growing, enlargement of the volume, or the reduction of the volume. I'd like to conclude by saying that I think we should find the answer when we examine the material itself. I think that the transformation occurred as a result of the processes of rigid body physics. Thank you. Could you please show the slide with the megalithic wall? Will this do? Yes. If we're talking about pouring, then there should be at least one horizontal surface on top of these blocks. This masonry was not poured. These blocks were laid together by fitting and adjusting. There are walls similar to these ones in the Caucasus and other places where people took stones without any preparation, constructed walls with a binding mortar. Tell me, what kind of pouring could be the result of what is seen in this area here? This is all natural limestone laid together using a conventional method. In this case, I think we have to focus our attention on the issue that these asphalt-like features are most likely the result of a solidification of a liquid solution, a lime-based solution. If you take magnesium solutions, for example, how are they made? First, you roast magnesite in the presence of charcoal to produce magnesium oxide, and then mix it with water, and it then forms bonds which are similar to a solution of hydrous magnesium chloride or bischofite. And as the solution forms, it quickly solidifies, and no new elements appear there. In other words, in terms of composition, it again becomes magnesite. Analogously, it would seem that the story is the same with a lime-based solution. Actually, if a wall is made out of a lime-based plaster, then over time it turns into limestone plaster. This is because the CO2 from the air bonds with it gradually over time, and it slowly turns into limestone. However, in this case, it looks as if the transition to limestone was very rapid. And this rapid transition could be due to some kind of special mixing additive. And using this special mixing additive would make this kind of fine microcrystalline body, perhaps. Maybe the builders possessed this, or it could be that there were certain conditions in Peru, maybe conditions of low water saturation. Perhaps there was a certain temperature regimen which allowed this to take place. I think we have to take our analysis into that direction. I have a few words to add to this. Firstly, we have to continue conducting our chemical analysis. Secondly, we have to examine the physical and mechanical properties of these creations. That's one thing. The second, and probably most important, is geology. In other words, a good geologist must be sent to Peru, who would walk around, take samples, and see for himself. Take some microsections for analysis, and then most likely the